And in this case, it's a liability for salaries expense or wage expense. Okay. All right. So let's look at the next exercise. Next exercise we're going to do is exercise 6. So let's look at exercise 6. We're going to practice journalizing and posting adjusting entries for prepaid rent. So let's take a look using a T account. Oops. So we've got this general journal over here we're going to use to record these transactions. So for exercise 6, it says on April 1st, Sport Courts of Toledo prepaid 6 months of rent for $4,800. So they want us to record the journal entry for the April 1st payment. So on April 1st, so I'm going to put April 1st, 15. We have prepaid something. We're paying something in advance, and this is rent. So we have prepaid rent. So we're going to debit prepaid rent. And we're going to credit our cash because this is what we're actually paying out. So we debit prepaid rent for $4,800 and credit cash for $4,800. Okay. Now it says record the adjusting entry required at April 30th. So now we're going to look. We're at April 30th here. Okay. April 30th. And so a month has gone by, right? So this was 6 months of rent. So we're going to take 4,800 divided by 6, and that's going to tell us how much rent we're going to incur costs for each month. So this is $800 worth of rent. So we're going to debit, because this is expired, rent expense. So our prepaid's expired. We've used it up and incurred the cost now. Debit rent expense of $800 and credit the prepaid rent for $800 and reduce it by what we've used up for this month. Okay, so we're using it up. Now it says using T accounts, post the journal entry and adjusting entry to the accounts involved and show their balances. All right, so we've got prepaid rent. So I'm going to make a prepaid rent T account. And we had cash. And we had go down here. We had rent expense. Okay, so we had prepaid rent was a debit of $4,800 to start with. So I'm going to put $4,800 over here on the debit side. Okay, and we credited cash. So I'm going to credit cash $4,800, and this was for April 1. All right, so that's our first journal entry. Then the next one we debited rent expense. So we debit rent expense $800. This was on April 30th. And we're going to credit that prepaid rent for $800 for what we've used up. Oops. All right. So that's all of our journal entries. Now we're going to look at what the balance is in those accounts. So in this cash account, we only have one transaction. So our balance in our cash account is still a credit of $4,800. Okay, same thing for rent over here. All we have was a debit of $800. So that's our balance. Okay, so that's our ending balance. And we'll do the same thing for prepaid rent. Now, prepaid rent, we had debit value of $4,800 and a credit of $800. So when we go and we adjust these accounts, we're just going to take the total of each side. So debit $4,800, credit $800, take the largest, subtract the smallest, and then that's going to be our balance. So we have a balance of $4,000 in our prepaid rent at the end of the month. All right.